Welcome back to Fortnightly News. I'm Chris Cox.
And I'm Phill. We got a great show for you tonight.
Okay, Phill, why do you keep air quoting things?
Well, my lawyer said I need to make sure I don't overstate things so we're not held liable for people's unfulfilled expectations.
Wait, so you're saying that people actually, watch us and expect us to be following through with the things we say? What are we, an internet picture of Bill Gates?
Apparently, Chris. Apparently. GSB elections were held Monday through Tuesday, and the results are, in a word, interesting. The next GSB president and vice president are the mascot Psy and a plate of crispy bacon. While Radisky and Hughes' tickets campaigned extensively for their own election, voters settled on candidates considered incorruptible. The duo of a sleeping baby and a cute husky puppy came in close second, with Radisky and Hughes' tickets finishing last. Further statistics would have been provided, but there's not much to analyze when only 7 people vote.
There's no doubt about it. 2013 has been host to some of the craziest weather ever. First it's snowing, then it's 50s and sunny, then bam, faster than you can say pissed off girlfriend, it's icy and cold and you have no idea what's going on, and all you want to do is figure out how to get the romance back. And by romance, I mean we want it to be upwards of 30 degrees for more than a couple hours. Now here to analyze this weather phenomenon is our chief scientist, Phill, the biased guy. Phill?
Thanks for having me on, Chris.
No problem, Phill. So tell me, what, in your expert and scientifically rigorous opinion, has been going on with the nature lately?
Well, 2 words, Chris. Global warming.
Okay, yeah, see, that actually makes sense. You're talking about how global warming affects Arctic oscillation, right? The interaction of jet stream and Arctic air during the winter, and then how that makes even warm areas have severe cold?
No, that is not even close, Chris. I'm saying that global warming is not the problem.
Okay, see, I'm confused now.
Let me try again. The problem isn't global warming. The problem is Al Gore.
Okay, wait, how could Al Gore be the problem? He's the one that came up with the connection between excessive fossil fuel use and increased carbon retention in the atmosphere. He's the one that's trying to stop this kind of thing from happening.
But see, by doing all that research he did and presenting his super long, rather boring presentation slideshow thingy, he actually doomed the world.
And how was that, Phill?
Well, you know the expression, a watched pot never boils?
Yes. Now, actually, it's the idea that time is relative to the viewer.
Well, this is the complete opposite of that. Turns out a watched Earth does boil, and it boils faster.
Okay, much like Matthew Fox with a rugged stubble on a mysterious island, I'm lost.
Are you familiar with physics, Chris?
Well, I'm no Stephen Hawking, but I like to think so.
Don't make up names, Chris. You look dumb.
Stephen Hawking's real.
Anyway, physics. In physics, there's the concept known as the observer effect. In a nutshell, but simply observing something, you're changing the outcome.
Okay, I'm with you so far. So how does that fit in with Al Gore?
Well, see, by starting research into the phenomenon, he inadvertently set us on a path to ruin. With such an interest in it, it's almost impossible to not have someone reading about it at any given moment. This kind of attention is making it worse and worse and worse and worse and causing even more attention, and then that keeps getting more attention, and then it just keeps constant build-up of attention.
Wow. So all these people paying attention to it is increasing global warming, which causes us to pay more attention, which increases global warming. So it's a vicious cycle, and it's inescapable?
Yes. I came up with a name for it, even.
And what's that?
The Alvent Gorizon.
Really? Really? We get freaking tsunamis, hurricanes, freak snowstorms, and you come up with a name like that?
Yes.
All right, you know what? I'm just going to forget that you said that last part. So the real question is, what can we be doing to stop this, Phill? And I don't mean just bad puns. I mean global warming in general.
Well, that's the thing. We can't actively try to stop it. That would be giving it attention. Instead, we need to become completely oblivious to the situation, completely ignorant. We need to find people that don't believe in global warming at all, that it's not true, and we need to learn from them.
Okay, surely you can't mean...
Yes, Chris. I mean, we're going to have to take a trip to a Walmart in Texas.
You can't be serious.
I am. It's the only way. We need to live among them and adopt their ways. We need to learn to drive their large, outrageously efficient Hummers. We need to order tons of processed fast food. We may even have to go as far as to go buy rascals and with little baskets on the front to get around on.
Is there any other hope, Phill?
No, Chris. This is the only way.
Well, as long as you're sure, Phill. Phill Nye, everybody. As many of you may have heard, the budget sequester went into effect recently. Not that any of us actually know what that means. Now, here to help us puzzle it out is our resident financial expert / a guy who owes me a favor, Steve.
So, what do you want to know about the sequester?
Well, first off, what is it?
Well, the sequester works like this. Congress realized that they needed to reduce the federal budget, but they also know they'd never actually do it. So they made a bill that said everything would be cut if they went a year without doing anything to, fix the problem.
Okay, now that seems reasonable. How will it make cuts, though?
Well, there's the real beauty of it. Say the federal budget is this piece of paper. You just take a little bit off.
Okay, now see, that's not so bad, but how is that little piece of paper supposed to change the deficit?
That's the beauty. It's only $1.5 trillion over 8 years, which, sure, it is a lot, but when the federal government can manufacture literally $1 bajillion, numbers don't really mean that much. Essentially, what they're doing is ordering a giant pizza with a Diet Coke and a salad on the side. Sure, it's an effort, but inevitably, it's not really doing anything.
So, wait, what does get cut, though?
Well, not everything actually gets cut. Some things are exempt, like federal employee pay. And by that, I mean Congress.
Okay, see, that doesn't seem very fair.
That's because it's not.
Okay, so if Congress doesn't get their pay cut, what gets snipped?
Well, programs like Medicaid and Army Family Medical Insurance.
Really? The guys that are actually, out there doing something are getting shafted, while the guys that aren't doing anything are getting full pay and benefits? That's, kind of a total bummer.
Yeah, that's because it is.
Okay, so, if all we have are little scraps, where does the rest of it go?
Ah, see, that's politics. Nobody knows.
Cool.
The White House finally stood up to its bully on Monday. National Security Advisor Tom Donilon confronted the Chinese government on the cyber theft of corporation and government agency information. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunying responded by pushing Donilon into a mud puddle and stealing his milk money. Donilon then requested the presence of his mommy at the conference while threatening to not invite China to his next birthday party.
On March 3rd, scientists announced that a baby born with HIV has been cured. The baby is now 2.5 and has been off medication for about a year. While now there is no guarantee the child will stay healthy, only traces of the virus have been found in its system. In honor of such a momentous day, we have decided to celebrate with what else but a song. HIV baby, you have been cured. HIV baby, your life is no longer a turd. HIV baby, you're from Mississippi. HIV baby, you are now free. HIV baby, you have your life ahead of you. HIV baby, you gave AIDS the old 1-2. HIV baby, your life sentence is reduced. HIV baby, your only worry now is getting some juice.
The first bout of pontiff elections ended in a stalemate Tuesday. Black smoke pouring from the Sistine Chapel's chimney signaled a victor was not yet in sight, and for good reason. There are some pretty pugnacious champions of the church fighting in this year's arena. Let's have a look at who's been pulling the fastest punches.
Timothy M. Dolan hails from New York City. So, if he can make it there, he can make it here. He has boundless energy in the ring, but that doesn't mean he won't fight dirty. He also loves pasta.
Sean P. O'Malley is a boondock saint if I have ever seen one. He's got the backing of both the Irish and the Spanish, and he's a Capuchin monk to boot. But he fought like a Capuchin monkey in round one.
Leonardo Sandri fought under Pope John Paul II, and he packs the punch of the Vatican political machine. It's up to you if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Angela Score, what? Oh my gosh, we already have a winner, and it's none of the people that we just listed. In
It's
fact,
a true underdog.
yeah, we don't even know his name. All that we know is that his name is now Pope Francis. Pope Francis is now the Pope, everybody.
Pope Francis the First.
He'll be addressing us with his championship belt very soon.
On the night Melissa Dome was nearly stabbed to death, she also found love. And no, it wasn't with the man stabbing her. As it turns out, the man that helped heal her bleeding heart also stole it in the process. Dome recalls that she felt lightheaded watching Cameron Hill treat her stab wounds, but it's likely that the feeling was from loss of blood. Dome also said that another thing she found attractive when they first met was that he wasn't currently stabbing her. The story just goes to show that those who survive severe stabbing injuries together stay together.
An Oklahoma mother tried to sell her kids on Facebook. According to police, Misty Van Horn had posted friends through Facebook to sell her 2-year-old and 10-month-old children in order to bail her boyfriend out of jail. Investigators say she wanted $1,000 for the toddler and $4,000 for both kids. Many human rights activists are outraged, saying they're worth not even half that. To clear up just how much a child is worth, kid salesman Sandy Diaper is here. Thank you for joining us, Sandy.
My pleasure.
So, Sandy, what made Van Horn sell her kids for thousands and not more or less?
Well, the first thing you've got to consider, Phil, was the market she was selling in. Facebook? What? I mean, she would have been lucky to get at least $10 for them. She really should have started with haggling sites like Craigslist, eBay, ColombianCrackKids.com.
Wait, what was that last one?
What was what?
So, aside from the market, what put these kids in the thousands price range?
Come on, Phil. You can't put a price on a potential future.
Wow, that was surprisingly deep.
No. They were just really low-quality toddlers.
Ah, low quality. What do you mean by that?
Come on, Phil. If you were going to sell your kids,
Which I wouldn't, by the way, just to make that clear.
it would be for something a little more ambitious. The miller's daughter gave up her child to Rumpelstiltskin so she could spin straw into gold. At least she was creative with her wish.
So, let me get this straight. Because the kids were being sold for such an unimaginative want, they were practically worthless?
Precisely. Ends justify the means.
This is wrong on so many levels.
Would it help if I told you I was the potential buyer?
Security! Thank you.
We all love Taken. It's an awesome movie for people with specific skills. Taken 2 was kind of terrible, but that's okay because Liam Neeson still beat the living crap crackers out of some more bad guys. 20th Century Fox is pushing it a bit far this time, though, since they're trying to get Taken 3 into production. Now, I like cool movies, but Taken 3 is a terrible idea, and I'm not the only one who thinks so. Liam Neeson, also known as the throat-punchingest Irishman who will kill/charm you with his pupils, said recently in an interview that he has zero intention of doing the movie, simply because, quote, making a third would just mean bad parenting. Good for you, Liam Neeson, not wanting to be the parental equivalent of Taylor Swift in a movie. Nicolas Cage has expressed interest in the presumably now open role. Said Cage, "My schedule is as empty as any theater showing Ghost Rider 2.
3 Ukrainian military operatives have gone missing recently, and they weren't just any soldiers. They were specially trained dolphins armed with knives and guns attached to their heads, reports Justin Gregg, dolphin scientist. Though the militarization of dolphins seems to be something straight out of the Cold War era Aquaman comics, it is in fact a remnant program of the actual Soviet Navy. The susceptibility of dolphins to tuna nets and rings, however, makes the program seem rather absurd and inefficient.
After the movie Argo's box office and critical success, it seems the only ones not celebrating it are the Iranian government. Feeling that the country was unfairly portrayed in the movie, Iranian officials are now trying to file a lawsuit against Hollywood. They're not sure exactly what in Hollywood they want to file the suit against, but they've hired a lawyer to sort out such matters. If they thought that the way they're being viewed after Argo was bad, they'll probably be equally unhappy when the inevitable feature film of the trial hits theaters. Affleck is already planning on writing the story, which will focus on a man trying to get goods into the country.
What's it going to be called?
Embargo.
Earlier last week, a would-be thief was stopped mid-robbery by a cashier at a Connecticut Dunkin' Donuts. The robber was climbing through the drive-thru window when the employee brandished a pot of hot coffee in defense. Looking at the pot of hot, silty beverage and finding himself outgunned, the crook attempted to stand down, but it was too late for reasoning. The worker then doused him with the coffee, leading him to cower back into his car and drive away, his wallet and stomach empty.